Coach's Corner, episode 3. Getting right into it. What's your name? Where do you coach at?
What's up, everybody? My name is Cameron Smith. I am currently at Como Park High School in St. Paul. I am the JV head coach and varsity assistant, and this is my second year at Como.
Second year. What's your coaching philosophy, if you had to say you had one?
I would say overall, I mean, I don't necessarily have like a direct philosophy, but at the end of the day, just for me, it's work hard, don't have any regrets, and don't take a day off. Like one thing that I realized as I got older was the days that I took off, how much I missed those days that I took off. I wish I could go back and do it again. So
What do you think like a player should focus on the most when it comes to just the whole overall being a student athlete, being an athlete?
personally, I think that student athletes, students gonna come first. So make sure you always handle what you gotta handle in the classroom, because if you don't, um, then that does affect the game. Like I've seen a lot of players, good players, mess up in class and they weren't able to play the game with us. So it can affect you that way. And then just see overall, be real with yourself. Let yourself know what you need to work on personally and work on those things. I feel like a lot of the times the kids get in the gym and they don't work on their weaknesses. They just polish up their strengths. And I think that, kids need to get in the gym and take hours and hours on the things that they're not good at, because that's just going to make you an overall better player at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's a good point that you said that. Like, that's a lot of stuff you see. Like, even I see a clip that's kind of going viral. I think it was a Jermaine O'Neal where he's kind of talking about how kids are recording, making highlight tapes, and that's like they're only posting the highlights, not posting everything. Sure. It kind of feeds off of that. Yeah. How do you feel currently about like AAU basketball, and do you feel like it's kind of helping kids more today, or do you think it's too much basketball? What's your thoughts on AAU basketball and on high school kids playing?
I think that it has definitely changed. I remember when I was younger and I felt like it was beneficial because like we were city kids, we never really got out anywhere to play. Right. So when it became like a new thing, I think that it was a great experience for kids. But I think now it has just been kind of like watered down to the point where people take, they worry less on the city stuff or the smaller things, and they think that their kid's just going to go straight to the best AAU team and just travel the world and be the best kid and things like that. And I don't think that AAU really holds people accountable. I think it's just kind of get to it, get to your bag, have fun, get your highlight tape up. The coaches that have seen, there are some great coaches in AAU, but then there's also some that are just there for the benefit of the player.
Just for the benefit of, yeah. And now it's like we're getting to like a different market now, like when it comes to like just the content of basketball and everything, because you say that, and like sometimes I like, do you think like even like some of these 1v1s with like the current high school players, do you think some of that has happened? Because like we want to see good competition, and then it's one thing for it to happen on occasion, but when you see like it's getting advertised as we're gonna pay to watch these high school kids do this, do you think that's kind of like how do you feel about that? Do you think that's like a positive thing, or do you think it's like a pro and a con?
I think it's a pro and a con. Like obviously it's a new experience. It's a different thing, with change. It's always uncomfortable right away. Like when we see something new, it's kind of just like we got to adjust to that. But I also see that it is, it's pretty cool. It's a new experience for people, but I think that people forget overall what they're doing it for. Mm-hmm. And, it's like they want to get the views, they want to get the attention, they want to get all of this, but it's like, does all of that attention take away from, the work that you're truly putting in, where you're really truly trying to go, and things like that. So I think that there's pros and cons to, these experiences, giving kids new platforms and things like that. But I don't want people to think that that's just like the limit.
Yeah.
Some people will, strive just for that. And it's like, oh, I want to be the best 1v1. That's cool. But it's like, where are you trying to go with that? It's like, where's the next step? Because there's nowhere right now where it's like professional, just one-on-one signed contract, like known like the NBA. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, there's a bunch of these small, they're not, and they're getting bigger. It's getting bigger. Don't get me wrong. but it's, overall, what are you trying to get out of it? So it's like, don't mix the two.
No,
I feel like if you want to take that lane, be the best in that lane.
Right.
Like, but don't have expectations of being, the best player at a D1 school if that's not your main focus. Because I see a lot of players that are in these 1v1 games that are ex-college players or, ex this or a current college player, but it's like, where are you going with it? Like, what's your plan for this? Do you want this to be your limit? Like, is this it? Or do you want to take it to the next level? So I think there's, always pros and cons to a bunch of different things. You can find it, you can nitpick and get at so many different things, but at the end of the day, I think that it's a new experience, and it's really, really what you put into the experience and what you want to get out of it.
I agree. I couldn't have said it better. Like, for sure, it's almost like you want to get your reps in as a basketball player, but it's like, remember what you're doing it for and what your goal is. Like, I agree.
It's like, this is a little small side gig, cool, but when I'm done with this, I'm getting right back to what my my main focus is. And it's not just locked in on this. So,
that's true. That's true. So, what kind of made you want to become a coach and get into basketball coaching? I know you obviously got the background. We'll definitely have another episode where you get to join us on Unplugged. We're gonna have to set that up for sure. But like, what made you want to become a basketball coach?
What's crazy is, in all honesty, I didn't even really want to become a basketball coach. The crazy part about it, like, I always loved basketball. I was always around it because my dad and my friends. It was my life. But coming out of college, personally, I was like, I got injured my senior year, so just what I wanted to do with basketball didn't quite work for me. So it was like, what's the next thing that I can do to kind of stay around the game? Love the game, because I love the game. So it's like, how can I stay around the game? How can I still, put my heart into this basketball from a distance? And I remember I was 22 at the time, and I was working at it's Obama. Well, it's closed now, but it was Obama/Webster Elementary, and I got a job. And my dad reached out to me like, "Hey, would you coach 7th grade girls at North St. Paul?" And I'm like, "No, don't nobody want to do that." Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to coach 7th grade girls at North St. Paul. Like, and I'm from the city. Like, what is North St. Paul? Like, I'm not familiar with it. Like, I'm from St. Paul, but North St. Paul ain't St. Paul. Like,
nah, St. Paul, St. Paul.
Yeah,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
So,
I was like, you know what? It's basketball. Let's do it. And I hopped into it, and it was the greatest experience, bro. Like, the greatest experience. And the thing that it was so cool was I went into it not knowing what to expect. And from that grew so many relationships with parents, kids that I still talk to this day. They're, in college now, doing great things. So they were really the spark to my coaching career. Great group of girls that they listened. They weren't the greatest. They knew that. But I just poured into them.
But they wanted to actually learn, though.
And it's different. Like, when you got players that are good and players that play for you. And those players, they knew that they weren't the greatest, but they knew that I knew that they were going to give 110% every time they went out there. So it was like a flower. I just watered it, and and I just hoped for the best, So it was one of those things where it was like, speak life into these kids. They already feel like they're not the greatest, so how do I switch that? And it was just speaking life into the kids and just supporting them and just having fun and letting them be a kid, like, not too stressful, because there's certain situations where we see young basketball and the coach is just crazy, and it's like, bro, these kids are in 4th, 5th grade, like, chill, like, relax, let them be a kid, let them learn, let them make mistakes. But it was the start of everything. So shout out to my 7th grade North St. Paul girls team. I hope everybody's doing well out there as well.
Shout out to them. That's just dope, just hearing that. Like how you said, you just didn't want to even initially do it, and then you just jumped into it, and it's like, I don't know what to expect, and it ended up being like something dope.
I was just getting done with college, so I figured, like, I didn't want to do that, because I had this idea that you go to college, when you get done, you're gonna get the best job in the world.
Hell yeah.
Like, so it was that whole little thing, just being young and not really understanding life yet. So I didn't know what to expect, because I hadn't put myself in that room to do so. So once I did, I kind of like seen all the benefits that came from it, and it wasn't just basketball. It was, life relationships, and, seeing kids graduate and see kids do things successful after that. But at the end of the day, it was a group of random girls that just loved me for me.
That's
So
dope.
like it gave me a whole new appreciation for the game too.
Kind of like it's like you said, you were done with college,
Yeah.
you done with ball essentially. So now it's like boom, kind of
Yeah.
rebirthed you almost
Exactly,
to a certain
exactly.
extent.
So,
You know,
it's like it brought that love right back. Like regardless if I was playing or not, I felt like I was playing because I was taking everything that I knew and I was putting it into somebody else who was then taking what I know and utilizing it on the floor. So that was something that was cool to see, it from a different perspective of like, okay, it can't physically come from me, but if I tell it and put it into this person, they can go do the same things in a whole new body. So it's like that was what I looked at it like.
that's a good way. So like, after you join, your first year coaching, doing at North St. Paul with the girls, 7th grade girls, how'd you get to, Como? And Como Park basketball girls has been like a powerhouse in the St. Paul conference for about 15 years now.
Man, it's crazy.
15. So like, what motivated you to get over there? How'd you get over there? And what's like? Talk to me. Like, tell me more about the culture over there for sure.
Yeah. So, well, just to like get started, I did 3 years at Washington. So I coached boys. I was a JV head coach over there at Washington for 3 years. Shout out to Mark. He gave me that, that opportunity to
Big dog. Okay,
Big
I know you're talking about. Yeah. Yep.
He gave me the opportunity, and when I told him, I'm like, hey, this is like my first, high school coaching job, but when I tell you I'm gonna give you everything I got, like I'm gonna give you everything I got, and that's where it started. But funny story about how that all started. It was my first year, and I had this kid. His name's Kayvon Trotter. Like that's my boy now. But it was like it felt like a Coach Carter moment for me. Like it was we were playing St. Anthony. I won't even forget. I will never forget it. And we ended up losing that game, and he was a little frustrated, and he took his jersey off and walked off the court, and didn't shake hands with the team. And that's not me. That's not anything that I want to represent. So when I got back, I told him, I said, turn in your stuff when we get back to the school. Clear your locker out. Turn in your stuff. He was, and at that time, like, he was good. Like, and he felt like his place was cemented on that team. And it was like, I'm here to let you know that, like, don't disrespect the game. You got to take your losses. You got to take your wins, everything. You got to take that on the chin. Like,
I agree.
So with that situation, he came to my office and he's like, Coach, I really got to turn my stuff in. And I'm like, yeah, this isn't a game. We're not doing that. I don't know what your previous coaches did, but I'm not here for that. And overall, I wasn't going to cut the kid. Wasn't going to cut him.
You just really had to just let him know. Like,
just had to let him know. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those where it was like,
I'm not playing around.
I'm not playing with you.
Yeah.
I know you're good, but that doesn't mean that you're better than anything on this team. You're not above this team. You're not above anything. And, after that moment, me and him became best friends. Like,
so it just everything.
Like, that's my dog. Still to this day. Like, I reach out to him. We still talk. Randomly I'll pick him up. We go to a Timberwolves game or something. Okay. Just kick it. And now he's grown now. And I think that for me it was more than just, it was a life lesson, a learning lesson I really wanted to teach him. And we really grew from that moment. And then the next year he played for me, and we won the St. Paul City Conference at Washington.
Oh, shout out to you. So that's your second or third year?
My second season, I ended up winning the whole St. Paul City Conference with Washington. Let's be real.
That's crazy.
Washington.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, see, shout out to you for that, because that's definitely something to talk about for sure.
It was cool, man. It was like, it was one of the moments I wish I had a camera that was just following me the whole time, so people could have saw like everything that we had to go through. Kids in and out of the, classroom struggles, or, at home struggles that they were going through, or just the moments where kids wanted to be better, and they stayed after with me for hours just to work on small things. And, I didn't have a kid then, so I was able to, stay longer, put more time in, and different things like that. So it was cool. But we really, like, birthed some dogs out of nothing. Like, literally, it's Washington. Like, and I'm not saying that no disrespect at all, but they're not known for they're not known for much, like, when it comes to basketball, things like that. So they didn't really have a winning history. So when they came in, it was kind of just like, we hooping. We know we about to lose to Central Johnson.
We just about to hoop.
Just about to hoop. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, no, y'all not, bro. Like, we not about to just go get ran up out the gym. Are you crazy, bro? Like, and that's the pride that I had. Like, personally, like, that never happened to me, you know, in my life experience. So why we think it's about to happen to us? They are human. They breathe just like you. They eat just like you. So at the end of the day, like, go out there and ball. And, you know, I felt like I put a battery in those kids' back, and they went out there, and they didn't just do it for themselves. Like, they did it for me. And I felt that. Like, I felt that 100%. So when I went into Central, we end up smacking Central that year twice by like 20. And, you know, I'm in Central talking crazy.
I know that felt,
man, it felt
I know that felt good.
It felt good, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it felt good because it was like, you know, I had my struggles at that high school and certain things too. So to go back and be able to take a different team and just like I said, it's like a plant. I just poured into them. And they and we ended up winning the St. Paul City Conference. We ended up going 11-1. We lost one game because 4 of my kids that day decided that they wanted to act up in school.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
Yeah. So we had to sit, you know, 4 of my starters that day. So that was the only game that we lost in conference. We would have went 12.
Wow, so y'all lost. That's like, wow, yeah, that's unfortunate right there.
So it was like
mental error.
Yeah, it was one of these things where we lost, and it was to Johnson. It was to Johnson, and so when we went back the second time, we had to beat Johnson to win the conference because we had beat everybody else. So it was basically between us. We went over to Johnson and we pulled it off, and we went to the locker room and we just celebrated. Like, I remember that moment. It felt like I won the NBA Finals, bro. Like, we you know, like, we won the St. Paul City Conference, and I'm like, bro, y'all don't understand. Like, this is Washington, man. Like, we really did this, bro, and they haven't won it since.
Haven't won it since that?
Not even close.
Not even close. See, the culture just kind of left. So, like, what made you leave Washington after having some success there and going to Como?
It wasn't like it wasn't really what I wanted to do. Like, I was at Washington again also because my nephew, Xavion Smith.
Isn't he the all-time leading scorer in the St. Paul?
Yep, number one.
Number one in St. Paul Conference, right?
Yep, number one. Yep, all time.
It's in his genes, man.
And it's crazy. Yeah, shout out to my nephew, man. And that was another reason why I was there. You know, I wanted to be able to coach him up too. So I was able to work with him. You know, after that, you know, we all lived together. So it was like,
he ended up going to the same college as you too, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I remember that. Yeah.
So he ended up signing at Waldorf as well, and you know, I just really wanted to, with him, I just wanted the best for him. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, felt like he was my little brother. It was my nephew, but it was my little brother. You know, so it was like, and he lost his older brother. So at that time, you know, I kind of just wanted to be another positive person in his life. Didn't know mentally what he was going through, you know, overall, but I just wanted to be somebody there for him. So I transferred over he transferred from he was at CPA, Community of Peace, and transferred to Washington. When he transferred, I was like, okay, they had an opening. I applied, and it was kind of like a strategic thing too. Like, yeah, I wanted to work close with my family too. So got to work with him for a few years, and then after my 3rd season, I found out I was having a daughter. So it wasn't like I just wanted to quit basketball or quit Washington and everything that I put in and built, but I just really wanted to take the experience with my daughter and overall let it get the full experience. So I just, you know, reached out to coach and told him like, hey, I'm having a daughter. I really want to just focus on that right now. And, you know, I'm going to have to take a step back. So I took a step back, and I ended up not coaching for, I think it was maybe 2 seasons.
2 seasons? Took 2 seasons off after that?
2 seasons off, yeah. Okay. And then I was able to get back to it with Como. So the opportunity presented, like, my dad reached out to me and let me know, like, hey, if you want to, we're going to put you in. We're going to put your name in, get your application in, whatever you have to do. And then I got to Como. And it was cool because I got to see them go to state the year before I got there. So I seen the culture. I seen, you know, overall how they were, and I wanted to be a part of it. And it just seemed fun. Like, so last year was my first year at Como. We ended up doing very well, won the city conference, but we lost in the section final to go to state by a buzzer beater.
Yeah, that's, you know, that's the heartbreaker of basketball.
Yeah, and we started that game 3 freshmen, 2 sophomores.
Young team.
Super young, and we
Young
played against
team.
Roosevelt. They were all seniors.
That's tough right there.
And lost by a buzzer beater. We're up 10 with like 3 minutes to go. Like, them coaches' games where it's like, it's a game that I never got over.
It's probably one of those
because
experiences.
it's like, we was that close. Like, it's not like it was far-fetched. Like, we lost by the last shot of the game. So,
right.
That's what made it tough. But I wanted to let those girls know, like, look at the future. Look at what y'all got here. Y'all got a lot of potential. You know, you have a lot of different things that you can do. So that was a big thing for me to get me to even come back this season, was to see that the potential that we got. Like, we're super young. We're loaded, though. Like, right now, we got 2 seniors. They're going to, go off and do their things. CeCe Davis and Micaiah Kinney, like, those are two of our seniors that we have that make a major impact on our team now. But they're also coaching a lot of the young girls up to be,
the next ones.
You know, and it's like we got sophomores, we got freshmen, we even got an 8th grader. So, potential. There's 2 seniors, but out of what we have majority of all of our team coming back.
So y'all got
it's just getting them to understand how great they can be, and that's the main thing. Is like, y'all got everything that y'all need to get it done. Y'all just gotta do it.
Just gotta do it 1-on-1.
You gotta really lock in. Like, all the outside distractions, all the little things. Like, you gotta push that to the side. So, I'm just really, really trying my best to get them to understand the greatness that they have and the team that they have right now. Because there's a lot of times where you can have a great team one season, and then everybody just breaks off and go their own way, and then everything crumbles.
Facts.
But at one point, you look back at it like, dang, we really had something
there.
good. Like, we should have just kept it how we had it, So that's what I'm really trying to get them to understand is, like, don't look at the right now. Look at what it can be and what it can grow to be. But now in year 2, we're still doing, decent. Just had a game last night. Played my old school Washington. Yeah, I'm just really, really excited to see where, things can go with these girls. And I just see so much potential with this group that it got me kind of stuck right now.
That's dope, man. How do you feel about the competition in high school girls basketball right here, specifically in St. Paul first, and then you can talk about the state?
Yeah, St. Paul right now, outside of us, at Como girls, nothing.
So, correct me if I'm wrong. When it comes to the St. Paul City Conference, Como girls only play other St. Paul Conference teams once?
Yeah, we only get to play once. Like, right now, we only play one time each school. I'm not 100% sure why or what the details are behind it, but, yeah, we play each school once.
The schools,
I don't know if it's, like, because of how good we are compared to the other schools.
Do the other schools play any other St. Paul team once?
They play each other twice, I believe. Yep, they play each other twice, I believe. And I just feel like, overall it's tough just because it's kids. I want them to have their full experience, and it's also numbers, numbers, and it's the quality of the what we have. We got Washington now teamed up with Johnson as a girls team. That's one whole team. You got Humboldt, and I'm not trying to knock anybody or say anything like that, but we played Humboldt the other day, and the girls could barely dribble the ball on varsity level. So, and then they're telling us, overall fall back, you can't press. Like, is this 3rd grade basketball? Like, what are we doing here?
That score made our group chat because I saw it. I happened to see it. And correct me if I'm wrong. Was it 84-15 or something like that?
It was something like that. It
had 15 points.
Something like that. And it's tough. It's tough. Like, what do you do with that? And then also what do we tell our girls to be like, don't go out there and go beat them by 100.
So compared to other St. Paul, like you just kind of told me how it is for you, for Como girls facing other St. Paul schools.
Yeah.
Is it like that when they face Minneapolis conference schools, or how is that? Do you guys face a lot of them, or
we play usually? I mean, we just play Minneapolis North. We just played terrible against them.
Okay,
we played terrible that game. Easily should have won that game.
Okay,
won that game. Like, my JV team, we ended up winning by like 50. So varsity level, I don't know if it was just a bad day, but we beat Minneapolis North last year. We went to the Twin City game last year. We won. Did we win last year? Twin City game? I think we did. Or no, we played Minneapolis Roosevelt again.
Roosevelt, okay.
Yeah. So we played them better the second time, but they beat us. But yeah, like we play, once in a while. We play at Minneapolis Public School if we get it, in the schedule, and it all seems to like work out.
That just, I don't know. It just doesn't seem so. Like the games because there's how many teams in the St. Paul Conference now? There's what?
Five or six.
5 or 6.
5 or 6, yeah.
So if you guys only get to play one team one time in the conference, are they giving you guys replacement games or any type of games to substitute those?
No.
So that's like, 6 games are potentially 6 games that you guys don't get on the season?
Yeah. Yeah, but we do a good job of finding those other games, other non-conference games. We just went out to Rochester, played. We just came back from Wisconsin and played. Like we went out to we go out far. Like there's sometimes we get on the bus and go an hour away to play at school because it's like we want our kids to have games, and it's like even this season alone, like I'm the JV head coach. I haven't had one St. Paul City game yet.
You're the JV coach, but what do you mean you haven't had? What, they don't have JV teams?
No, they just have like what they call a B squad. Like
I found, I was talking to somebody literally last night at the Central Hardin game where I'm like, bro, what happened to freshman JV varsity?
It's like B squad or something like that. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, my JV team, we haven't played all season for the St. Paul City Conference, and I don't think we're going to. I don't think we have any JV games. Like they don't have any JV teams.
How do you think? Like, do you think that affects like players? Like, how? Like, what's your thought on that? Because like, I'm just, me and you both grew up.
Of course,
we played basketball in St. Paul City Conference. Yeah. We always know, like, I mean, during that time it was always us and Johnson.
Sure.
But you always know when we played them the first time, we was waiting to play them the second time just in case. So it's like, not kids not being able to feel that. Do you think that kind of? Are they missing that? Do you think it affects them, or do you think they don't even notice it, or are they bothered by that?
I don't think that they're too bothered by it because they're not. Some of them now it's the normal.
Okay, they're used to.
So with us, it was different. We're used to going in and playing those 12. Facts. If you just got here as a freshman and this is your first year and this is your first experience,
that's all you know.
All you know. Yeah. So it's gonna be kind of hard for you to be like, oh, I wish we had more games or this and that.
Right.
It's like they haven't had that experience, but. It just honestly for me, it sucks though, man. Like because you only get 4 years of your life to do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
in high school, that's why I tell people it's a privilege to play sports, man.
For sure,
it's a privilege.
It's a once in a lifetime thing.
Yeah, once in a lifetime.
You never get these 4 years ever again in your life. Never have this experience like that. And like I seen, just in conversation, I seen on somebody on your post the other day, say something about like I wish that I wish I would have cared about, high school a little bit more. Or you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're talking about. And I felt that when he said that. I'm like,
bro. Like, I felt that too. Because it was like, but I felt it, but I also didn't feel it because I was the person I'm at the front of the school. I was in senior class council, different things, or, wanted to be involved in certain things and, so many different groups. And just, I had fun in high school, bro. Like, I didn't let all of that other stuff, like, dictate how I was gonna be.
Right.
I had fun, bro. I had all type of friends. We was partying on Grand in the mansions. Facts. We had the studio on University. Like it was so many different things that we was doing. So, it's
that's real. Even you saying that, piggybacking off of that, like when he said that, I thought in my head like that's how I know the sports saved my life because I wouldn't know what I'd be doing if I didn't play no sports. Like that, it took away most of our time to do anything. Especially if you was serious about it, because we grew up in an era where you couldn't just be on Instagram talking, making highlight tapes, and it's like, bro, we know how you hoop.
Yeah,
you can't do that with us. You can't trick us. So it was a different era where you had to work on your craft in order to even be in a room with people.
Facts.
So just hearing him say that and you talk about that, that's literally, it was one of those things where I was like, man, I never thought about being on that other side. Yeah. So that's why it's like,
people understand it after the fact. That's why, like, I feel like coaching is a very, very key thing because you might not get it now, but you will at some point. What I was trying to get across to you, and that's my main thing is like, as long as like I said, I'm here to just plant those seeds, flower it, and water it and let those flowers grow. But as long as you know that that seed was planted, like, and you know, it's like you might not get what I'm saying right now, or I might be talking too much to you. But when you get older, you'll realize that you wish you had somebody still talking to you like that, or you wish you would have listened more, or you wish that, you know, I would have gave a little bit more effort, or, you know, there's so many regrets and so many things you go back and look at. And that's me too. Like, it's the small things. Like, I miss running killers, bro. Like,
yeah, I do too. In a weird way.
In a weird way. It's not like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I miss just the feeling of, coach, get on the line. Well, and it means something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he used to go crazy now. We know.
But it's like
because we got to tell D3 one time. We all asked like, how was y'all tryouts? And then he's telling us, he was like, how was y'all's? And we was like, track meet. It was a sprint.
That was it.
You had to run and able to even be able to
get through the door.
To get through the door. So yeah, I was like, no, it was
people
different.
was dropping off like flies, bro. I remember that.
It was different.
It was bad. It wasn't no basketball, nothing. It was just straight running first, and we're gonna eliminate the man, flies. Bro. Calves burning.
Oh and man, it was like gladiator school.
So it was like to break off, and I get that part. It was a break off who really ain't here for that.
Yep, I agree.
If you ain't here for that, then get out, you know, and that's where I feel like, you know, overall that was what was presented to us. Like, hey, if you ready, this is what it's gonna take. All right, let's go. We about to run a marathon today. Mm-hmm. But it weeds out who's serious and who's not. So
I always thought with that method that he had, I personally always thought it did more good than bad. I know a lot of people. There's not really many people like, at least I mean, I know you a year before me and you was there. So me personally, there's not a lot of people who flat out. Besides one, we already talked about him before. Yeah, you know who he is. We ain't got to, you know. But besides that one person we talked about, there's not really many people to me in my head, which I saw while I was playing there. Like, oh yeah, he should have been on. To me, I just didn't see that. Like, it was a lot of. People don't understand how talented that central team, like the central teams were. That's why it's like, nah, bro, these are all-star teams. A lot of these dudes that's in this team that's not even playing were stars on their team when they was, you know what I'm saying, younger. It's just different. So it's all about rotations, and you know how that stuff goes with players. And you're a coach. But just going back, you know, can you name some of the most talented players, like, over these last, you know, your years of coaching? Yeah. Like, especially really at Como, that you kind of think stand out?
And are we talking just like from the girls' experience right now?
Yeah, from the girls' experience right now.
I would say, you know, even like last year, let me think about it. Last year, we were so young. So a lot of our seniors, they didn't go off to go hoop.
Oh, yeah, you did say
you know,
that.
So it was like, you know, a lot of them, there's a few that went to college. Don't get me wrong. I think we had 3 seniors last year, and they're all in school. They're all in college, you know. So
let me go back since you speaking on that, because like, how did, like, even like, because like you said you joined them 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
2 years ago.
Because Rodney Porter played for Como. Correct?
Yeah, Ronnie. Yep.
And she's at Wisconsin Baptist. She went there straight from Como, right?
Yep. Walk on, and now she got a full ride. She's a scholarship. So.
Do you think her story and stuff like that? Do y'all, like the coaching staff at Como? Because I know her mom is the head coach. Head coach. Yep. Shout out to her. Do y'all, or do you? You know, I can ask her too. I mean, her's gonna do one of these too. Yeah. But like, just in you in general, just like all the coaching staff. Do y'all kind of inspire or kind of remind players that, like, yo, this is possible for you to reach this level, and just use her as an example? For
sure. And like, you know, overall, like. So I didn't personally get to coach Ronnie. She was the year after. I came a year after. Okay. So, but I got to see the culture that they built, you know, overall, and how hard them girls worked. And, you know, there's like 6 girls or 7 girls from that team that are playing college basketball right now. You know, right now that are playing, you know, whether it's a D1 JUCO. We got a few girls playing D1. Like, it's crazy, you know, and then there's girls, you know. But it's the overall, you just get them a scholarship. That's what we're there to push at Como. Like, we're trying to let people know that, see the bigger side of things. Like, we're really trying to build a culture here to get girls to play college basketball.
Yeah, man. So you literally walked into like a question I ask everybody on here. Yeah. Do you feel it's a coach's responsibility to make sure their players get to college?
And, you know, overall, do I put 100% on me? No. Okay. Do I put it all on me, bank all on me?
Right,
No.
Yeah.
But it's a huge part, very, very huge part. Like, and it's what the part that you play in it, right? So you could be a high school coach that has so many connections. We live in a world of who you know. You know, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And I feel like if I have resources, I'm gonna use them. And if I can get somebody to come here to look at you, we're gonna do that. So I feel like also it is my job overall to at least try. You know what I'm saying? I can't guarantee it, but I can put effort forward and reach out to who I do know. And that's like another thing, like what I did with my nephew. That was my old college coach. I reached out to him ASAP.
That's love.
You know, that's hey, real, yeah. Hey, take a look at my nephew. I don't know what you want to do with it, but
I did my part.
Yeah. So, you know, and next thing you know, he's signing and going to school, you know, and things like that. So I feel like it's very huge for us to at least, like I said before, just plant that seed. Plant the seed and know that that's what I want for my kids eventually, because we're from the city, right? We don't got a lot of money. We're not rich. So how are we going to get to the next step? Get your school paid for. But you can do it with athletic ability. You know, don't have your parents struggling trying to help you get through, or you struggling when you get done with school paying all these extra bills and this and that. Well, you can get school paid for you off of athletic ability alone. Yeah. So lock in and get your school paid for. It's possible. It's possible. Like, it's all up to you. And now these days, I feel like it's a lot easier for you to be seen. Yeah,
I agree. It's way more cameras now.
Way more
cameras.
Way more.
Yeah, it's
you know, so, and I remember, you know, just when I wanted to get recruited, like, and that's why I say it's, for me personally, of course, it's something that I want. I feel like it's important to help somebody get to school. It's not my 100% job, but, you know, coming from my high school coach didn't help me. Like, I've never had a conversation with him about college or, like, where I would like to go or, like, what I would like to do. I never had that conversation with him. So what I had to do was I made my dad came to each game. He recorded every game. I took every game to this guy I knew at the time that would make highlights, and I made my own highlight tape. And if you really want to think about, like, when I really, really think about it, I sat with my mom, and we looked at every school possible. I got all their addresses to all of their athletic departments. I sat there. We burned CDs on an old DVD thing where my brother had this burner when we used to make, you know, DVDs, you know what I'm saying? So he had like the 8 trays on there, slide one disc up at the top, you hit the button, boom, all 7 slide in, hit the button, and then boom, you burning 7 discs like in 1 minute. Boom, I got like, so then, you know, grinding. So I'm like, boom, I had to get those. I had 7, then another 7, and I remember getting all the athletic things, and my mom sat with me, and we mailed out my highlight tape to 150 schools, bro. I just mailed it out on my own. Just mailed them out from the actual U.S. post office. Just mailed them joints out, packaged them up myself like Christmas cards, bro. Sent them out because it was what I had to do. I didn't have nobody in my corner that was like, yo, you're good. You could do this. I'm going to help you get to where you need to go. Like, I had to get it out the mud. So, you know, and it's crazy. I sent out 150 tapes.
And you know what's always something crazy to me? Because, like, you know, I played, like, you know, we played together.
Of course.
So it's like I always look back and I never even told you this, and I was just, you know, it always something that stuck with me. I feel like you were the only player from your senior year that actually played 4 years of basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and I always looked at that because I'm like, you know, I was there, like. That last, I didn't understand it. I was there. You feel me? I was there. Like,
yeah.
I already, you know, we talked about it already. But like, I was there, so that's why I didn't understand it. And even like a lot of people, like, I remember, you know, because I did my thing. You know, I always.
Of course.
But it's like, even like during that junior season, there were so many people walking up to me like after, like, during AAU, how come you didn't play this much? How come you didn't play that much? And I used to have to tell them, like, yeah. He could have definitely used me at times, but I'm like, bro, we got some nice dogs over there. I'm like, we got you, we got Nate, we got Tay. Yeah. Marvin wasn't, you know, he's not no snail. Like, these is dudes, these are guards. These are the guards right there. That's why I'm sitting there like, how could you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
no, for sure.
I'm an honest person. I'm like, you got to think, what can you bring to the table that they not already bringing to the table?
For sure.
So that's why it's like one of those things, but at the same time, that situation with you, I just didn't get. I didn't get that at all. So that's why it's like, even like you said, it didn't break you. So any players that even watching this and hear this part, hear this, if you're watching this long, you hear this portion, your fate is, I mean, I know people say fate is fate, it's already made up, but at the end of the day, it's fate to me is based on the choices you make each day.
Sure.
Like it can determine it at least. So you kind of just made up your mind. It's like, nah, I'm about to grind, I'm about to get this tape off. You know, and you end up going to the 4-year, and you was a starter over there at Waldorf, weren't you?
So my first 2 years, the way that it worked is we had like a JUCO team. Okay. So it was like we had like 30 players, bro. Like so many people.
A lot of people.
But when we got there, I didn't know that it was like 2 teams.
Right.
So it was like the first two, they called it our JV team there. Mm-hmm. But what it was like the JV was going to play all the D1 JUCOs.
Got you. Yeah.
So it was like, it wasn't sweet at all. Like, it was like.
Oh, you're right, actually, because honestly, we played, I think, because we played Gustavus one time. I went to JUCO. Yeah. We played, like, what's that school? It's like a private school.
Gustavus, yeah.
Gustavus, yeah. We played them, and like, it wasn't there, like, it was like another team, though, and I was like, who is these dudes?
So they had, you know, like, majority of junior and seniors, they were on the top team, and then like majority of freshmen, sophomores coming in were kind of like the JV JUCO team. Okay. But like, so I started my first 2 years on the JV team, and the crazy thing about that was when I got recruited, my coach came in the first day and he told us that he was quitting.
The coach that recruited you?
Coach that recruited me on my first day, bro, of college. My first day of college, bro.
Your story sounds like, bro, from you, how you getting your highlight tapes, how your dad had recording games, to that sounds like, bro, that happened to us.
It was crazy. Like, so, you know, I got to school, and the first day we all meeting each other, you know, I'm meeting all my teammates. Coach comes in, he's like, hey, I just want to let you guys know, this is my last season.
Just like that.
First day. I'm like, what? I'm like, hold on, like
I came here.
I came here because of you, like, you know what I'm saying? So I know that the next coach who comes in is gonna bring players that they want. Yeah. You know, players that they already know that they've recruited, because you got to start somewhere. If you're a new coach, you're like, hey, I got to bring in something.
I got to bring in some. Got to bring in something. Send myself off.
Yeah. So, it was really, bro. Like, my whole life has been like a grind, man, just for people to respect the fact that I could hoop, and you know, I never let any of the situations like stop me from my overall goal, you know. And it's like, regardless of how people treated me in the process, like, I just used that as my fuel, bro, to keep going. And it just made me, you know, appreciate those people, as crazy as it sounds, because it helped me realize that I got to find another way.
Yeah, man. And that just builds character, you know. Like, I tell people a lot of times, like, basketball, like, everybody wants to have the dream of going. Yeah, we all watch movies. Yeah, we want to go to the league. We want to be like Kobe. You want to see. I get it. But, like, at the end of the day, it's like basketball builds character. Like, half the people I know I've met through basketball. I met you through basketball. You know what I'm saying? I met everybody on TCS radar I met through some type of either high school or really sports. Yeah. It's like we are athletes. That's what it was. So it's just something big. So it's good hearing that, man. In closing, what is something that you really feel like a lot of players – actually, I have 2 more things. First, I want to ask you about how do you feel – and you can just, you know, give your honest thoughts on this. How do you feel about the market of basketball trainers? Because I know you're a coach, so when you coach a kid and you see them come in and they're doing things and, you know, they probably learned it from a trainer. How do you feel about the whole situation with trainers and players and all of that right now?
I think, and, you know, for a while, I remember I was training. Mm-hmm. So it's really, really what I don't feel like you should limit training. I feel like you should be an overall trainer. Like, some people just train on just ball handling. Right. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, ball handling, but are we translating these to real game situations? Are we just coning? You know what I'm saying? Like, cones here and there. So I think that training is very key if it's utilized the right way.
Utilized the right way.
And then also you're trained on the things that you're not already good at.
Got you. Yeah.
So, you know, when we go into a training session, okay, before we get into this training session, let me know how you are as a player. What are 3 of your strengths? What are 3 of your weaknesses? What is something that you personally want to work on? Right. You know, instead of what I feel like you're gonna be okay today. We're doing Euros only. Like nah. Like let me. If this kid's not a Euro kid, bro, we're not doing Euros, bro. Like there's no point in me worrying about this kid doing these moves that they not about to do. So it's just like it's one of those things where just be realistic and actually get to know the people that you're working with.
Right.
And that's where I feel like my old college coach, Coach Reed, he works with Paige Beckers now. He's her personal trainer.
Oh, for
He's
real?
my assistant coach in college. Like me and him, we like this. Like I call,
That's
reach
dope.
out to him. He's still, available. He still talks to me, things like that. So, and back then I got to see him when he very first started training. It would be like, he'd be like, hey, stay after practice with us for, 15 minutes. Run through a little drill, this and that. Certain things that he had already been coaching us. Like, okay, I've been seeing in these games, you guys are struggling on these things. So let's train on this. Boom.
Right.
So when we go into this session today, it's all on the things that we not good at.
Yeah, so it makes you. It literally makes being uncomfortable comfortable because like you don't want to. Most people.
So then now the training is now converting into the game because it's real life situations.
Right.
I'm not just Euro stepping. between cross.
Cones,
like
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Because all of that stuff is not realistic. You bring that out your bag when it's needed. But I'm not. I'm not getting pressed, bro. Going between.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Behind no look pass. Like nah. Like I get
Right.
that portion.
Yeah.
Like that's cool. You can have that when the time is needed for that.
Those is like attack moves. Like what
Those
you,
are like the special moves when
the
when you fighting and then you get all the way to boost to the top and then you can hit the R2 button, bro, and then it just like then you're like, oh, bro, crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like that part, bro. Like that part. That's like the power meter is always there. No, bro, no. And then you holding the turbo down, you're gonna be tired, bro. Like so.
That's a great analogy.
It's like it was one of those things where you can pull it out, but at special times, like. Where you see that one move and it's just during the game, it's like, whoa,
facts. Facts.
And you don't get those moments every time of the game
right.
because it's just that one moment where something just happened, you kicked into it and was special.
Yep.
I got it. I can do it.
But you can't do that every rip.
You know what I'm saying? But then now you got the kids that just want to sweep through, step back, everything. Step back, bro.
Yeah, these trainers,
just square up.
Just square up, and then like you said, like they fade on unnecessary shots at times. It's just like you said, they do a lot of unnecessary moves. Like I was at one of these games and I saw a kid. He made a great move.
Yeah,
and it was a great move. But at the end, he like did some extra shit.
Yeah,
and I was like, he made it still, but I'm like, that was so unnecessary.
Just make the easy basket,
just
bro.
Make the point. Like,
make
what you
easy
making
basket.
it hard for? So, and it's like that creates bad habits because you're gonna keep on doing that, and you're gonna do it. Then somebody's gonna time, and they're gonna send that joint to the stands because that's what it do when the movie did. But nah, man, that's dope, man. But in closing, man, just kind of want to just talk about what's your thoughts on your coaching career going forward, and where do you see your coaching career being?
Man, it's crazy. I don't want to like toot my own horn, but I'm a really good coach, man. Like I really, really am hands-on with my players. I realize speak life into them. I would love to see myself on a very, very competitive college level. Very, very competitive, and not saying like at a head coach level as well. Like, do I think that if that's something that, presented itself, of course, I'm down for it. But I think that just at a higher level, and I even look back at, some of these NBA coaches. I watch a lot of the games and, different things like that. And I'm not saying I'm going to be Doc Rivers or I'm not saying I'm going to be Phil Jackson.
Well, you don't want to be Doc Rivers.
No, but Doc Rivers doing good right now.
Okay,
he turned it around.
He turned around.
I ain't going to lie. He turned it around. And he got a
ship,
chip, though. I'm going to give it to him. He got a chip. I'm going to give it to him.
That's real.
So, but overall, I know what you mean, though. Like Doc. Yeah.
And the playoff record is just crazy.
Crazy. But, overall, I just, I think that I look back at, when I watch these games, I see all the coaches, bro. There's like 15 coaches per team. So it's like, I know so much that I feel like I could insert myself somewhere on one of these staffs and be able to, help in some type of way. Like, I've been doing this my whole life. My knowledge of the game is crazy. Like, I sit home, I watch games all day. If I'm chilling and people come over, majority of the time it's a sports game on. The people like, bro, you check out that new Power? I ain't even watch Power, bro, but I watched that college game. You see that college game though last night? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people ask me what series or what things are you watching now? And I'm like, sports.
Sports. So you don't even really, so it's just all sports.
It's all sports because at the end of the day, I'm just trying to polish myself on every day. Basketball for me is every day when I'm in season. Monday through Friday is every day. So
Definitely
every day, how do I keep it fun?
Facts.
How do I keep it fresh? How do I keep it a thing you can understand? Like, how do I make it make sense? I have to do that.
No, you're right.
That's my job, to go back and watch these new things that I'm seeing, the new ways that these girls are playing, like Juju Watkins and Paige, and you got South Carolina girls, also the girls from the Notre Dame. Oh my gosh, like you know what I'm saying? The talents, UCLA big girl, huge. Like there's so many different things to watch. So just as an example, we was on a road trip with our team a couple weeks ago. I logged into my YouTube TV and I turned on a college girls basketball game. They like, turn on a movie. No.
There's no movies.
No, there's no movies. Because this is y'all's life right now.
Yep.
Watch it.
Watch the game.
Watch it at a higher level of where you potentially would love to go. Everybody would like to go D1. You know what I'm saying? On these big schools, UCLA's, UNC, Duke, different things like that. We would all love that. But what does it take to get there? Watch it.
Watching this, learning.
Watch it firsthand.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And do you work as hard as Juju Watkins?
Right.
So you can't expect to be Juju if you don't put in the Juju work. So overall, at the end of the day, man, as a coach, I just want to be able to speak life into kids, reach them to their full potential, and just push them to be the best that they can be. I say it to them all the time, like, me being tough on you I'm not mad at you. I'm not angry. This is tough love. This is because, I didn't always get that tough love from coaches. I didn't always get somebody who actually would care, you know what I'm saying? And that's just what I want to be for these kids, and let them know that the sky's the limit. Don't waste your time. Utilize this and see what you can get from it. In college, man, the next level, you're going to meet so many people, relationships, friends, things that last forever. So do what it takes to get there. But in closing for me, all the players that I have or all the players that I had, I hope that, overall that something that I did was able to stick with you. And just know that regardless of anything, don't have these regrets. Don't have no regrets with this stuff, because before you know it, we're going to be right here. You know what I'm saying? I got a daughter. She's about to be 3 years old next week. Like, life happens fast, and it happens so fast,
So fast.
Don't waste your time. Don't take anything for granted. And if this is what you want to do on the basketball level, do whatever it takes and give it 100% on your worst days.
All right, man. That was a dope closing, man. This is Coach's Corner, episode 3. Shout out to Cam Smith from Como Park.
Thank you guys for having me.
All right, we out.
Yes, sir.